There's no doubt that Tom Finnie and Art Lundahl were influential architects of a new tradecraft that had not existed prior to the work they were doing.
Art Lundahl was a visionary. Art Lundahl was able to see where he could take the business of what we now call imagery intelligence, geospatial intelligence, to places where I think most people didn't think we could take it before.
Tom Finnie understood what space was going to do in the field of geospatial information.
What further distinguished them was their absolute dedication to education and training to make sure that the next generation would be able to follow on in their footsteps.
Coming out of World War II, the United States found itself with an adversary about which it knew very little, the Soviet Union.
The tremendous challenge was, how do you accurately position locations in denied areas?
The U-2 program was the first systematic, sustained effort to see the Soviet Union by flying over it. The U.S. for the first time could see the observables on where the Soviet military bases were.
Finnie's side would be measuring those sites in terms of their precise location, the relationship to the launch sites, while Lundahl would be determining more information about what kind of missile is in it, what are its capabilities, what kind of activities are taking place there.
So one was broad area coverage, routes and positioning, and the other was situation oriented on did we need to respond, what was going on politically. But when you look at geospatial intelligence, you need both. You need both to get the solution.
My dad loved the United States. His work had a lot to do with the security, and we never realized till years later how close we were to World War III during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 27th, 1962 is a critical day that I'll never forget in my life, because that morning we briefed Lundahl that all 24 missile pads were operational, meaning that within 4 to 6 hours there could be 24 missiles coming at the United States. And I remember Lundahl was very pensive. He put his hand to his chin and he leaned over and he reflected for a considerable period of time. And then he looked at me and he said, I don't want to scare the hell out of them, but I want to make sure that they understand the threat.
You know, the old line, a picture is worth 1,000 words, a picture where you understand the content of the picture because someone who is knowledgeable explains it to you is worth even more.
Lundahl was very oriented to helping the president and the national security staff make decisions, and therefore he was situation-oriented in particular areas of the world, tracking them, following them.
What Lundahl did was build imagery as one of the pillars of the information flow that comes to the U.S. intelligence community.
The threat of the Soviets coming into Western Europe was crucial. Asia and China was scaring the hell out of us. The weapons were just beginning to come to reality, and the recognition that they had to have geospatial data came with it. This was all beginning to happen as DMA was being formed.
The Defense Mapping Agency was formed from 3 major organizations, Army, Navy, and Air Force mapping groups. These people had different cultures, they had different technology, they produced different products, and they had different traditions.
Tom Finnie was the architect that laid out the amalgamation process that brought the talent together across DMA.
I think that was one of the greatest achievements that I know of anywhere, is to bring that desperate group together and and to get them all marching, at least most of them marching in the same direction.
Both men were passionate about the country, our form of government, and the health and wealth of the nation. There's no question. They were great leaders for it.
They did their work at a time that was very critical to the United States. They developed a capability that didn't exist before they really came along.
One huge aspect of this award is finding out all of the specific projects that Dad worked on and how they fit into winning the Cold War. I get cold shivers, and I have to fight off tears every time I talk about it.
He loved what he did. He loved every day that he worked, and he was always doing something interesting, and there was never a boring moment. The fact that this award is named after my father gives me chills. I am humbled by it, but I'm also so proud that his legacy as a human being who did so much for this country is carried on.
USGIF's an educational foundation. It's our responsibility to understand and celebrate the contributions of those who came before us. What Tom Finnie did for defense mapping, what Art Lundahl did for imagery interpretation, really laid the foundation for what we know today as geospatial intelligence. And that's what makes it completely appropriate to name this award in their honor.
The United States Geospatial Intelligence Foundation Arthur C. Lundahl Thomas C. Finnie Lifetime Achievement Award is the most prestigious award bestowed by the USGIF Board of Directors. This year's honoree graduated with a degree in geography, economics, and social history. Further earned a Master of Philosophy degree. Is a Fellow of the Royal Aeronautical Society. His experience includes, as a navigator, flying photographic reconnaissance. As a leader, he has been the Director of General Intelligence Collection, the Chief of Defense Intelligence, the Vice Chief of the Defense Staff, and in recognition of his superior service, he was knighted by the Queen in 2009. With the unanimous vote by the USGIF Board, we recognize the lifetime achievement of Air Chief Marshal Sir Stuart Peach.
Greetings to everybody at the United States Geospatial Intelligence Foundation. Thank you very much for honoring me with this award. It is, of course, not for me, it is for all of the members of the United Kingdom Intelligence Services, past and present, and hopefully future, who've worked so closely in partnership with you for so many years. Heritage is important, both sides of the Atlantic, and all of us are affected by the shared memory and commemoration of both the First and the Second World War. During the First World War, aerial reconnaissance came of age and was one of the defining characteristics of air power. That lesson was not forgotten, and soon aerial photography became a dominant part of the tactical fight in the Second World War. We in the UK were very much part of that. We shared our thoughts, our practice, our tactics and techniques with our American friends. And so a great, and I mean great, partnership was born. That partnership has survived. That partnership has gone from strength to strength. That partnership has taken us to new frontiers, shared enterprise, shared endeavor, shared tradecraft, shared memories, all of which is represented today by this very special award I receive on behalf of the United Kingdom. My own journey in reconnaissance began 37 years ago when I was the last of the aircrew members to be selected for the long photographic course. That was my own start of a tradecraft journey, which has gone on now for 41 years' service. I'm proud to be part of the reconnaissance gang. I'm very proud to be part of the intelligence community. I see in so many of my predecessors on this Hall of Fame great friends and particularly great mentors. I would just simply highlight two: the great intelligencer, Charlie Allen, and my lifelong friend and mentor, Jim Clapper. Both mean a lot to me, and both mean a lot to their friends in the United Kingdom. So to join them makes me humble. And humility is important in warfare. Pride before a fall, so many intelligence people have often, quietly, unsung, been the one to find that missing link. I'm thinking perhaps of Constance Babington Smythe in 1944, who against all odds unearthed what the Germans were up to at the Peenemünde site, leading to one of the most brave and daring Bomber Command raids of the war. I'm also thinking of the countless American PIs over the years and intelligence folk who've just provided that missing link, that part of the jigsaw. As technology matures and as our tradecraft continues, we should remember our heroes, remember those who went before us, and tread lightly in their path, but also remember that now we have new partnerships with industry, which are really mature, partnerships with small companies, partnerships with scientists, partnerships that handle big data, that allow us to take advantage of microsatellites and all the other techniques that are coming around the corner, allow us to try and make sense in this confused, cluttered, congested, and dangerous world. Today, as I receive this award, I'm only sad I cannot be with you in person. I do enjoy all elements of the links we have in our community, but I am also thinking, as I know you all are, of those people who are deployed around the world, plying their trade, looking for that next vital link, looking for that next piece of the jigsaw. And it is for them and for the future generations that accept this award. I'm very grateful to all of you, and I look forward to seeing you all at an event as soon as I can come across the Atlantic. Thank you again.
Several years ago, when Stu Peach spoke at the Orlando conference, he's clearly just an amazing guy with a full agenda. And whenever he'd see one of our young professionals approach, he would stop what he was talking about to whoever he was talking to, and he would turn and he'd ask, "What are you working on? What are you doing? How are you making a difference?" He is a very, very engaging. We're an educational foundation, and as we talk about the reach that we have as the foundation, the opportunity to include someone as strong, as powerful as Sir Stu is important. He is acting this week in his capacity as Vice Chief, and as a result is required to stay at home and watch the fires. So what we'd like to do today is ask you to give a standing ovation as if he was here. We'll ask the photographer to join us on stage, and with the magic of electrons, we will send the congratulatory image to Sir Stu, and then we'll have him over here this fall so we can thank him in person. So please. To the audience.